Hello, welcome back to the Escape Pod. Thank you for escaping with us. I'm Alex. That's Andrew. Oh my gosh.
That's wild.
Hello, welcome back to the Escape Pod. Thank you for escaping with us. That's Alex. I'm Andrew.
And as always, with great power comes great, fantastic Frankie ability. Yes, we are joined by the one, the only, fantastic Frankie. We are so glad to have you here. Thanks for coming out all the way from New York City.
Yes.
Yes.
Can I just point out her shirt? I don't know.
Yes, I was about to.
Yeah.
Batman the Animated Series, Clayface.
So
He's
sick.
like all the way on the
So
bottom
sick. Yeah,
fighting him. It's
Where is this shirt from? Where did you get
I
this
got
from?
it off of a rack in
Sick.
one of those like vintage things. And
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I love a good vintage like full
No,
print
yeah, it
shirt.
looks sick. It looks
Thank
great.
you.
Are you a big fan of Batman the Animated
Yeah,
Series?
I'm a huge fan of
Yeah.
Batman. That's
Yeah.
my jam for sure.
Yeah, we might talk about that.
You got the big Lego set.
I did get the big, and it was my first Lego set that I built myself.
It's like Gotham buildings. What is
It's
it?
the skyline of Gotham,
That's
and you
sick.
can like pull out sections and look into it. But I like went live and I was like, "You guys, I don't know what I'm doing." Everybody was super supportive, but like,
yeah.
you know,
We're supposed to live
downloading
stream
it.
us making, and we never have.
We
said we were going to do
are
that like 6
slacking.
months ago.
We're really bad at our jobs.
Is,
I
is
heard
there
it's
like a bat
big.
signal or anything?
Yes, it's a bat signal. There's a bat wing flying.
Nice.
It's got the red sky. It's got the blimps with the floodlights.
yeah.
It's so sick.
It's super awesome.
It's
I
so
love
sick.
it.
Okay, so we're going to start as always with hot seat. We're actually all going to do hot seat. So I think we
Correct.
start with Frankie's,
Absolutely.
and then we'll do like a shorter version for
Yes.
us. So most people know hot seat. We put 5 minutes on the clock, and we rapid fire questions at our guests to kind of get to know them. So buckle up, everybody.
I opened the calculator app again.
Of course you did.
Okay, I'm
Ready?
going to do 5 minutes.
You want to start? You want me to start?
You would start.
Okay, ready?
3, 2, 1.
Do you cosplay?
Yes.
What is your favorite cosplay that you've done?
Yara Floor. She's a Wonder Woman. Like,
Oh,
there he is.
very
She's pretty cool.
very
yeah.
Hell yeah. Who's your favorite like musical artist? Like, what kind of music do you listen to?
You know, I listen to everything. I like actual musicals too.
Yeah,
Nice.
hell yeah.
I've been into French rap lately.
French
I don't know
rap.
how it came on my algorithm once, and I've been addicted. And there's this like rapper slash singer named Yame that I really like. But I guess beyond that, I really like Beyonce.
Sick. Yeah,
Beyonce,
hell yeah.
You heard KSI's new song? Anyone?
It's bad.
It was bad.
Oh, he's getting massacred for
It's
it.
bad.
Good for him.
It's nuts.
Yeah. You listen to French rap?
Yeah.
Do you know Damso?
Maybe.
No stress, yeah.
That's the thing. I listen to them, like I go to the channel and I just hear like croissant, and I'm like, this is ill.
Yeah,
You
this is
know?
sick. This is sick. I like this.
Yeah.
Okay, how do you describe your job? What do you do when someone asks?
I normally tell people I'm a media personality
Sick.
that like dissects and analyzes TV and movies.
Cool.
Unless I'm lazy and then I say, oh, I'm an influencer.
Yeah,
And
that's
go
the
from
quickest
there.
way to do it.
What is the best movie theater experience of your life?
Ever?
Yeah. If you can't name one, you can name a couple.
I think Dune 2, I got MLP, which is like maximum listening position.
Okay.
And I live right by, I should say I live by there. I'm close to, because I live in New York City, the IMAX theater, which is the one in the city.
Yeah.
And it's gorgeous, and it's what IMAX has made. Everything's shot specifically for that theater, and the experience of like seeing Dune 2 in it exactly how it's supposed to be shot was like transcendent.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I got an early screening for Dune, and it wasn't at IMAX, and I was really frustrated.
Man.
I was really frustrated.
Sorry, did you see it in IMAX after?
I wanted to. I wanted to go see it in 70 millimeter or whatever, and then I just never got around to it.
Man.
But it was still
Is
good.
that the best movie of the year?
I'm torn between that, Challengers.
Yeah.
Maybe though, like
Yeah.
if we're considering everything like production, right? Maybe probably.
So I asked how you describe your job and everything. What is the best part of it?
Doing stuff like this, like talking nerdy.
Yeah.
I really enjoy it. It's definitely my favorite.
Cool. Yeah, I agree.
I couldn't agree more, yeah. What is going back to the movie theater thing, what's the best movie theater snack? And on top of that, what's the best movie theater drink? What's your go-to?
I'm on the West Coast, so I know this is blasphemous, but I'm a Twizzler girl.
Okay.
Yeah. Or I'll do popcorn, and then I buy nacho cheese, and I dip the popcorn in the nacho cheese.
Whoa.
Game changer.
It's so
Fire.
good. It's so good.
Andrew's going to try that.
Oh,
You
I'm
should
gonna-
definitely try
I'm gonna
it.
try
It'll change your life. For drinks, in the movie theater, it's only cherry Coke.
Cherry Coke is great.
The movie theater cherry Coke, especially in that red box, is so good. It's the only one to me that I can have.
What's something personally about you that most people don't know that you wish they did?
Ooh, I don't know. I'm really good at softball.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I
What-
played.
What position did you
I was
play?
a shortstop.
Hell
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
What do you like? Any other sports? You play any other sports?
No, I
Watch-
played like basketball because I was tall and black, and they were like, "It's
I
all
gotcha.
season,
Yeah,
don't
you gotta
do
play
that."
it.
Yeah.
But I didn't particularly like it, the game or like playing it, but it was a great way to be in shape.
Softball? There you
Yeah, softball.
Hell yeah. Do you care about the Oscars at all?
I do. I watch it, but I've been disappointed with the Oscars.
Yes, I have been disappointed with the Oscars as well, but I did want to ask, do you have any early predictions for award season? Do you think have you seen a performance this year that it's like they're going to be nominated or they're going to win or anything like that?
I think Zendaya may get nominated for something for I really like Challengers.
Yeah,
I think
that's
The
good.
Score too may be nominated for something. I thought it was incredible.
Yeah, Challengers is in my top 5 for sure.
I think Dune will sweep a lot.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
definitely gonna get some stuff. And Wild Robot will
Yeah.
probably get some like best animated feature.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely agree with that.
Do you like The Lion King,
Which one?
the original?
Yeah.
We watched it last night with the patrons, and there were some arguments. Some people were saying it's not top 15 Disney movie, and some people were
The
saying
Lion King?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy, right?
Yeah,
The cartoon.
The
yeah,
classic.
the original,
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
confused.
1995. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
The songs are alone.
Yeah, they're so good.
That's
What's
so
your favorite Lion King
interesting.
song?
Yeah.
I think it's Just Can't Wait to be
King. Yes.
Also,
That's his favorite.
Scar got a banger.
Be Prepared is a banger.
Yeah.
I like Be Prepared. I wish it was sang better.
Right.
Does that like every cover I hear of that song, I think is better than
Yeah,
the
but his
one
voice
in the
makes up
movie.
for it. to me.
Yeah, it's more. I think it was a choice.
It was a choice for sure. Yeah.
How much longer we got?
Last question.
Okay, one question each. Go.
Sure, you can go. Oh, you just asked the Lion King.
I did.
Okay. What do you think of the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy?
So I just started it
Okay,
on the
sick.
way here.
Oh, perfect.
sick.
Because I
perfect.
think they're doing a live action.
Yes. Mhm.
And it was on my flight. And I was like, let's see what the hullabaloo is about.
Mm-hmm.
So I watched the first one. I was like, this is ill. I can't believe
Yeah.
nobody. Why
Yeah.
don't people talk about it
Yeah.
more?
The first one is so great.
It's really, really good.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see the next two. I'll probably
Yeah.
try to watch it like this week. But
Yeah.
I like it. I think it's pretty cool.
We also watched the second one last night with the
Did
Patreon.
yeah. It's those movies are so good.
really
I think the first one is the best.
Really?
But the second one, a lot of people like better than the first one, and I understand that. For me, I think the first one. I mean, you just saw it. I think it's so
It's very-
brilliant,
yeah.
and
It
like
is.
he's the punk of the tribe, and nobody rocks with him and everything. And then he's the guy he figures out the dragons with he's a kind guy. He's a nice guy. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I can't remember them. I need to see the third one to be able to rank. I definitely like the first one better. The second one's good, just not as good as the first. And
Yeah.
then I remember the third one. That's the only one I saw in the theaters, and I remember it being beautiful and amazing. So
Oh, yeah. The animation is
yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
Last one. Okay, I want you to give me the last time you were super happy, the last time you were angry, and the last time you were really sad.
Oh,
Dang.
man. This is deep. Yeah. Okay, the last time I was super happy, like what like crazy happy?
Yeah.
Happier than normal, you're saying?
Yeah. Well, what's the last
Like
time you
you're
remember?
pumped.
You remember? Yeah, being pumped about something.
Yeah, I just interviewed Renzi Feliz like
Okay.
on a main stage at CultureCon. That was
CultureCon.
ill. Yeah,
Yeah.
CultureCon is like VidCon, but it's really for people of color.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And this year it was on the scale to me as like VidCon, like Michelle Obama came.
That's
It was
incredible.
crazy. Well,
Holy
not
shit.
to my panel, imagine, but she was there
Yeah.
for the festivities. And I did really well.
Hell yeah.
I came in there, I was super nervous, and then when I got in the room, Renzi said he was a little bit nervous, and then I don't know. I felt like Oz Cobb. I was like, well, let me take him on my wing, and like it gave me a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So I was really happy. Angry. Oh man, I'm always like I do a lot of theories, and sometimes people are just so outrageously rude.
We know.
Yeah, I'm sure. I know you guys. It's funny because, like, I feel like the film bros react to y'all the way the comic book bros react to me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so sometimes I'm like, I don't know why it gets you so upset. But the thing that really gets me is, like, sometimes I'm right. A lot of times I'm right. And especially with my theories, because I know film. Like, I read the comic books, but beyond that, I know storytelling. I read books. I know how filmmaking and storytelling is done. So I'll make a theory that goes against the lore, but I understand what the story they're trying to tell. And people would be like, you dumb, blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
And then they don't apologize when I'm right. I'm like,
because they don't have to.
No.
They don't have
they're
to.
hiding behind their thing.
It's so crazy. So I think...
But their same comments when you are right are... Well, that was obvious.
That
they
was
were obviously going to do
obvious.
that.
It gets me so angry.
Oh, so angry.
Definitely. Right now, it's the Penguin. But I think right now with Agatha all along, I predicted that, like, and it hasn't been confirmed, but that she hasn't been on the Witch's Road.
Yeah.
And some comments I'm getting is crazy.
Why would you be mad about that? We think that.
Yeah.
It feels
I think
like
it's kind of obvious, like at this point, but I'm sure you called that early. Like, it's just like, God, people are the worst.
It doesn't make... I'm like, every time they bring it up, she's like, sure. I'm like, Catherine Hahn is not being low on purpose.
Yeah.
But someone wrote this really nasty comment about it. I was like, that's a perfectly, like, reasonable response.
Gross.
To
the internet.
it.
And then sad.
I recently lost a deal because I made a joke on
That's
like
happened
the
to me.
Spider-Verse, and it bummed me out. I'll say on the Spider-Verse, that sound, Savannah, slow down.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I put like there's too many. So you think there's too many Spider movies, and
Yeah,
I'm
and
like, and it's like,
Aren't you a Batman fan? I saw that. Yeah.
And they were like, this could potentially be looked at as negative. So for that, we're gonna like take it away.
And
I was
wild.
like, yeah, it really bummed me out. Not really for the money. Obviously, I would have loved the money.
Yeah.
But I was like, this is why a lot of influencers like lose their edge as they get bigger, because there's a fear to be, to ever critique or speak out. And I was like, I'm not gonna stop being me, but it put me in place for a minute. Like, should I be more PC? Should I like speak in ways that make people more comfortable? And I was like, nah, fuck that. Like,
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If they don't have, if they can't take a joke that lightly, where I'm kind of teasing both properties,
I wouldn't want to work with them either. Anyways, yeah.
Exactly. I don't, because I would undoubtedly say something similar in some capacity at any time. So
That was literally like a trending sound and a joke.
Yeah.
You wanna go?
But this was something we're not going to go into the details, but Andrew lost a brand deal a couple months back, and immediately it was because of a joke, and immediately I called him and I said, hey, like, do you want to tone down what we say on the podcast? And it was so awesome for Andrew. Was like, no, like, why would we do that?
It was
like,
it was a big deal. It was a big deal that I lost, but it was like
but
it's hard.
Yeah.
It's a hard choice.
It sucked.
Because then your people notice when you start to adjust.
Yeah.
And you lose. Yeah, and I get it. Like,
Some of that
it's
realness.
easy. The money is nice. You see the check.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, man, but at the same time, it's like the reason why I'm here. You guys talk about how much you love your fans as well. Like, you build this community, and then to switch up on them so you can get a little bit of cheese.
Yeah.
It's odd.
Not in the plans.
Yeah.
All right, who do you want to go next? You want Alex or me to go?
I thought this was Andrew.
She got
You gotta
me.
leave that in.
No, I'll leave it in. I'll leave it in. I'll leave it in.
And when you said it, I was like, I've been calling you Andrew this whole time. I freaked out for a second. I was like, he's gonna think I'm racist, and I just like confusing.
Are you white boys looking like? Yeah, no.
So who's going, Andrew or Alex?
Stop it. Stop
Alex.
it.
Hey, before we confuse new
Okay,
viewers,
Alex is going.
Alex
Can you set? Let's do 3 minutes.
Absolutely. Sure.
Okay, so
You're
I'll
good,
lead
you're
this.
good. We'll grab it.
I'll start asking questions. If you want to ask him anything,
Yeah.
just if you want to know anything about us, anything about Alex, any of his takes, anything about his personal life, we are on the hot seat. We have to answer.
We have to answer.
Okay, so
Awesome.
we'll go for 3 minutes. Ready?
Let's do it.
3, 2, 1. Mario's in town.
Correct.
Your little brother.
My little brother, yes.
1 through 10. How excited?
9 out of 10. I never get to see him. He's, one of the loves of my life. I love my brother with all my heart. I'm really excited that he's here.
His Gambit costume. Sorry.
Yes.
1 through 10.
It's 10 on the hilarious
Dude,
scale.
when you see the picture, I freaking freaked out.
It's so funny. We'll have to show you
I
off
need to
air.
see it.
Yes, it's incredible. Yeah. 10 on hilarious. You know, it is a Spirit Halloween costume, so it's not the highest quality.
He's cooking in
but he
it. Like,
pulls it
looks-
off.
yeah,
he
looks
does.
so good.
He does.
So, are you Deadpool or Wolverine?
Yeah. At the party, I'm doing a Old Man Logan.
Oh.
So, yeah. So
I
I'll
can
go
ask you.
white here, and you know, maybe some big bags. I'm doing the claws even though I shouldn't be, but I can't just be some old guy. at this party,
Like
know?
you need to add a little something.
Yeah.
What 1 through 10? Rachel is finally here.
Correct.
His girlfriend has finally moved in.
Yes.
It's like the second day she's been here.
Correct.
1 through 10. How excited?
I'm pumped. You know, I'm 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. I'm excited to have her here. We've been together a minute, and we did long distance the entire time I've been out here, and so we've been in total together 6 years, and almost 2 years of long distance. So I'm glad that she's here now.
Do you? She's been here like between 24 to 48 hours.
Correct.
What's been the worst part of that and the best part of that?
When we landed yesterday, I was really tired. It's a 6-hour flight from Miami to LA. That's a long flight. I don't fly well, so like we were just talking about how long the flight from the East Coast to the West Coast is. That flight sucks. I was real tired, and she was like, "We gotta unpack." I was like, "Fuck that!" And so she bullied me into unpacking. And then the best part, I don't know, hanging out. We played some Smash last night. Super Smash Brothers. We're
Did
big
you
Super
get her
Smash
a gift for moving here?
I kind of get her gifts a lot.
He got literally everything in their room. He got a new bed. He got her a
Really?
dresser.
Yeah,
He got he's-
So you like demanified your room?
Yeah.
No, she chose everything.
Yeah. She chose everything, and I'm the credit card. So you know.
I love
But it's
that.
good. No, so I definitely she's getting and I got her a couple things. We were just at LA Comic Con, and I got her a couple things there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
nice. She a nerd too?
She's become a nerd through me. She had never seen Star Wars, Marvel, DC, anything before dating me, and now she's seen a good portion of a lot of it. And so one of her, you know, I've gotten to show her almost all of her favorite movies now, and so she's become a huge nerd. Her favorite TV show ever is WandaVision now. So,
Really?
Yeah. So.
Does she
gonna
like
rewatch it.
Agatha?
She hasn't started watching it yet. She wanted to watch it with us
Yeah, so our roommate Zach and her are apparently rewatching WandaVision.
so that they can watch
then they're gonna watch
Agatha,
Agatha
as
together.
a house, which is fun. Yeah, but they
But they're behind. They're like 5 episodes
she's
on now.
going to the party as Wanda, but she's doing the comic accurate one.
Okay.
All right, last question.
Yeah.
Of all the movies this year that you haven't seen,
Yeah.
Beetlejuice, Wild Robot, stuff like that, which one do you think you should have seen the most? Or
Probably
which-
Dune.
Right.
2?
He doesn't watch
Jesus.
anything with Timothée Chalamet. It's a
Correct.
It's a
boycott.
thing?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a
I've never
boycott.
seen him in any film.
Why are you like?
Yeah. There's some off-air stuff I'll tell you, but at the end of the day, I just kind of don't like him.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was like, I feel like you guys have similar vibes.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, he's a skinny white guy. He's like repping. I get it, but yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, I don't like him at all. But you know, we'll talk about it off air. But yeah. So I've never seen Interstellar. I've never seen Dune, Dune 2, Wonka, none of those. And
He's in Interstellar.
He's
a son.
Matthew McConaughey's son for like 5 seconds.
Yeah, I mean he's barely in it. Just
I know.
give his spot.
people
We've
have
we-
offered to edit him out so
and
that I
he's-
can watch it.
Yeah.
I love that though.
Yeah.
I love your resolve.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like like fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Is like basically
It's a line in the sand. You won't cross
No,
it.
He's
I'm
a
not.
line in the
We all have
sand.
those.
I will as soon as they make him Robin or something. I will have to see that, and then I'll go back.
You
And
think
watch
they'll
all
make
of
him
it.
Robin?
Not necessarily, but I think that he'll be in some superhero
Eventually,
movie,
yeah, he's
and
gonna
I'll
be-
have to watch that for work, and then I'll just go back and I'll watch Dune and Dune 2 and Interstellar.
When
and
Interstellar comes out in theaters at some point this year, they're like re-releasing it. I think you should. See it.
everybody wants me to do that.
You love. I mean, you
I'm
gotta
tell-
hear
it's
Hans
the
Zimmer
only-
inside.
It's the only Nolan I haven't seen. I've even seen Following.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. What if you?
You like
mean-
Interstellar?
I loved Interstellar.
Interstellar's amazing.
I mean, it's one of those Nolan films that are like. Was I confused a
little
bit? Yeah, but did I love it?
It's not as bad as Tenet though.
You know the thing about
love
Tenet
Tenet.
is you have to attack it as a series of heist.
Yeah.
Like
That-
if
that
you look
don't
at it
make
as a
sense.
heist movie,
I think it's great. Yeah, I think everything
Yeah, the
you're
heist part
putting
was
down,
cool.
I'm picking up everything you're putting down. I
Yeah.
love Tenet. Tenet's
Yeah.
my 4th favorite Nolan. I like it better than Oppenheimer.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I did not see Oppenheimer.
Oh wow!
I can't get down with such like open propaganda, which is crazy because I love Hamilton. But I don't know, something about like one, the way they were trying to push it on the Japanese, the fact that now like when we think of Oppenheimer, when we hear that name, we're gonna think of that film, which like portrays him as like a nuanced, I just love science type thing.
That's interesting.
And it just was so white. Like I'm like in the year of our Beyonce 2024, pretend there were black people around. Like, pretend someone. And I feel like final one. I feel like the Robert Downey Jr. thing. The reason why he was doomed was because of Oppenheimer, and if that
interesting,
so that's like this Nexus event now that like turned him into Dune.
Interesting
for me. Like he got his Oscar, so he's willing to come back. But also they're like, look, he can do kind of morally gray.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What do you think overall of Robert Downey Jr. as Doom?
I don't like it. I think I don't like the whitewashing. I also don't like these fan bros kept on quoting this tired ass series that has nothing to do with what they're talking about.
Yeah,
like,
the comic run.
The comic run.
Infamous
I was there. They were
there.
saying he's Victor Von Doom.
Yeah.
I guess it's good to think of them like propelling Pedro, because like to make him the villain, that means they're saying Pedro Pascal is going to be this like super big hero, and it brings the Fantastic Four to be the like top. And I love the Fantastic Four. But I'm also worried. James Gunn already did the Fantastic Four. Guardians of the Galaxy was a Fantastic Four film, like especially 3. So I don't know. I think it'll be good. I think we're gonna watch it. We're gonna say that was entertaining. But like, I think the type of like directing and cinema that we saw from the Eternals, even from like Multiverse of Madness, that like was different and broke the mold. I think that part is over.
I'll have to say.
Yeah.
I do agree with that statement that they're probably done taking risks for a very long time. Thunderbolts is going to be Ant-Man and the Wasp. Like it's just going to be the safest, grayest, like just normal Marvel quips and jokes and this and that. But everything, like you brought up Fantastic Four, everything in the marketing, all the logos, the old-timey, all of the leaks from Fantastic Four looks very promising.
Yeah.
And it's Matt Shackman, the guy that did WandaVision, and WandaVision was at the time and still is to this day one of the weirdest, newest, freshest projects in the entire MCU. So my fingers are crossed. You liked Eternals.
I liked it. I definitely think it had its flaws, but I liked that they took that risk.
Yeah.
I think cinematically it's one of the most beautiful Marvel movies we've seen, and it's one of the few, although they still fell short. I feel like Marvel has a terrible time scaling heroes. Like I can't really stand Snyder's work, but at the same time I love the way he scaled everyone, from how big Atlantis seemed during that Civil War and like how terrifying it would be for surface dwellers if they came up, from how powerful the Kryptonians looked, even the way he had the Flash look like lightning bolts like coming in. It's awesome. And I felt like the Eternals, the way that they had Makari running, like the way Icarus was fighting her and stuff like that, I was like, this is some of the best fighting I've seen.
It was fun.
I think it was meant to be a series.
Definitely was meant to be.
Or our friend Matt Soups brought up the idea that it should have been 2 movies.
Yeah.
Do one movie of them fighting the Deviants, and then the second one is the twist, and Icarus kills Ajax. Like after you care about them, that would have been
so good,
very interesting. I just don't know if that first movie would have made people care, and the twist with Icarus made me care instantly. Like I was like, oh, this is
like,
so, and like you brought up, I think the flying and the laser eyes that they shot, the way they shot it with Icarus, I think is the best Superman character has looked in live action for me that I've seen. Just the way, the smoothness that he would move and fight, I thought that was awesome. But I agree with everything you said. I'm a big fan, big defender of Eternals.
Yeah, I'm a people are starting to come back around. Yeah, we're getting in that area. Like I did a video with, I don't know if you guys know who Caleb is, Caleb Swag.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
He caught me like at a con, and I said it, and all of a sudden there's all these supporters. But I was like, when I did my review when it came out, y'all were tearing me to shreds. And now everyone loves it.
One of our it was our first viral clip is from our 3rd episode where I said Eternals is better than Shang-Chi, and and that I got murdered for it. Yeah.
I better
Rightfully so.
maybe.
I know
Good,
people like
it's
Shang-Chi.
good,
I do
good.
not like the big CGI ending. I think it's so bad.
I do think the ending of Shang-Chi ruined the rest of the work they did.
Excellent.
But
Excellent.
that's what Marvel does.
No.
Andrew, it's your
Hot
turn.
seat.
Yep.
You ready?
Yep.
I've got some questions for you, my friend.
Okay.
When are you going to release Sarah to the world?
Who?
Okay. I
Hiding the world
but I
from
wanted-
his kid.
of all of our guests, including Fantastic Frankie,
Oh shoot.
I want you to give me the top 3 that would survive the longest in a zombie apocalypse.
Okay. I think Connor somehow would figure it out.
Sure.
Yeah, Connor would figure it out.
Yeah.
And then I think Michaela has the stubbornness to not die.
Sure. Michaela Jill Murphy, voice of Toph.
Yeah.
I
So
love
I'm
that.
gonna give her
Sure.
that. So there's 2. And then, do you think you'd survive in a zombie apocalypse?
I have the skills. I know how to shoot a gun and all that stuff. But I'm from the city. If
No.
I'm in New York, I die. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's just so many.
It's too many. You
Yeah.
can't. There's no way. But if I were out here, I'd survive. I got hands. I know how to fight. I'm
got
athletic.
hands.
You know, I'll make it. But in the city, everyone's dying in New York, right?
Cuban Crusher.
Cuban Crusher.
Cuban Crusher.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm telling Straw Hat that you guys didn't
oh,
take him.
Would
I
Straw
can't
Hat be
wait.
up there?
He died. No, he
Yeah, I
died.
think he
He
died.
died
I think so, too.
immediately.
I think so, too.
Absolutely. I may kill him.
You'd be the zombie,
It would
like, yeah.
actually be me.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
running a little slow. I'm like, we got it.
Yeah.
We got to cut the weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll go after him.
You're wearing an Alan the Alien shirt. Mm-hmm. Are you dying from the weight of season 2 to season 3 of Invincible?
No.
Okay.
I'll wait.
Have you read it?
No, I have not read it.
Okay,
I've watched the 2 seasons. Yeah.
I also haven't read it. It's the
Really?
only book I haven't read where I'm like, I don't know anything. I'm super excited about it.
It's one of my favorite comic book stories, only for the simple fact that it has an ending.
A good ending.
That's up to interpretation.
It's an ending though.
I like it. I like the ending, but it's so many stories are like, let's leave it open so we
Yeah.
can continue it for 30 years. Kirkman said, I'm done. Boom. Let's finish it. And I love that about it.
Fair enough.
Check. Couple more questions.
It's a good one.
Sorry.
Are you from Florida too?
No, I'm from Alabama, but
What?
I lived in Orlando for 2 years, so I've been around.
Alabama. How did you get out here?
When I was 15 or 16, I said I'm going to be a YouTuber, and I did.
Wow. Good for you.
It took him 10
It
years.
took me 10 years. The first 8 years, I wanted to die because nothing worked.
That's how it goes.
But I moved to Orlando, and while I was in college, a YouTuber hired me to be his editor, and then when I graduated, he hired me out full time to move to LA. So then I was his cameraman and creative producer and all this stuff, and then my own stuff finally did well after a while.
Do you still go to Alabama?
Yeah, I go in Christmas and whatever. So
Visit fam. All right, I've got my last question. You ready?
Yep.
It's a 2-parter.
all right, hit
It's
me.
all about jealousy. You're not a very jealous person,
think
but
so.
I want the last time you were jealous, and then I want the last time you were jealous of me.
Last time I was jealous. Period.
He's not a jealous guy. This may take all day.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, whenever like, whenever there's like an event or something that like we didn't go to or I didn't go to, there's always a little bit of like, oh, that would have been cool. Like Joker, like we didn't go to Joker.
Sure.
I don't have a lot of Warner Brothers contacts, so maybe that. But even then, I didn't really care that much.
Sure.
And then jealous of you.
Or anytime you've been jealous of me. Doesn't have to be the last time. I imagine it happens quite often, considering I'm so much better than you in every way.
At everything. Yeah. Whenever we play basketball, I'm just so jealous of your
Man.
basketball skills.
Damn, that was a lie. I'm terrible, and he's
Are
very
you
good.
terrible?
Yes, I'm
Are you
terrible,
really
and he's
good?
very good.
I'm okay.
He's
Well, anyone someone says I'm okay, it means they're good.
no, he's very good.
I don't know. The only thing that's coming to mind is like back a while ago, like when you had a female and I did not.
But now you have Sarah.
Who? All right, let's get into it.
Yeah.
Everyone grab your cards. All right.
These are so cool. I got one with James Gunn on it. I
Yeah.
love that.
Nice. Yeah, everyone's smiling on that one. Everyone's upset on this one.
Yeah. We like that.
And you guys are on it too.
Yep.
Oh, you're on both.
Yes.
Okay. Amazing.
Both happy and angry. Okay, so everyone knows agree or disagree.
Yes.
I will read a statement.
Yes,
we will
sir.
count down from 3, 3, 2, 1, and we will flip around whether we agree or not.
Correct.
Starting with last episode, I believe, if the schedule is correct, last episode we finally had someone. There's a little lore for you. We've done the podcast for about a year and a half now. Until last week, we have not been nice to Lord of the Rings, and we have every single one of our guests, every single guest has also not been nice to Lord of the Rings. It's been very strange.
Really?
I like Lord of the Rings, I just haven't seen it in a long time, so I can't defend it very well, and he's only seen Fellowship of the Rings.
And I saw the extended version of Fellowship, which I was told was a bad decision.
For the
but
first
that's what the
viewing.
Lord of the Rings snob in my life forced me to do, so I didn't like it. So
Really? I watched the Lord of the Rings Peter Jackson trilogy for the first time this year. I chronicled it.
So we finally had someone last week who's a big Lord of the Rings fan. So my agree or disagree is the Lord of the Rings trilogy is great.
3,
2,
2, 1.
Agree.
I just can't
disagree.
speak on it.
Really?
Give us your thoughts. Give us your thoughts.
Yeah, so like I said, I'm brand new. I did watch the extended, but I watched it like a series. I'd watch an hour, I'd take a break.
Interesting.
And then I watched like Nerd of the Rings and stuff to give me insight. And now I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan.
Yeah.
The use of practical effects is timeless. Like the CGI still holds up. The story is good. And I didn't realize how much of what we consume fantasy wise is all based on Lord of the Rings. Harry Potter is almost bar for bar the same.
Yes.
I grew up loving Harry Potter. Like, and the guys are hot. The women are beautiful.
Aragorn, dude.
You know, Aragorn.
Strider.
Rings of Power, they're gorgeous in that too.
He's crazy.
And it's the only fantasy that's like still a fantasy. Like Rings of Power is still very much fantasy. Like when I watch Game of Thrones, it could very well be like the Tudors. You know what I'm saying? Like
Interesting,
that fantasy aspect is gone. And I feel like they're not afraid from the garb, the way they're dressing, the way they're talking. It's like very fantasy coded.
Yeah.
Love it.
What of the 3 movies, which one's your favorite?
Two Towers, I think.
Wow.
Yeah. Again, I don't remember much about them, so like as an adult, it might be a completely different thing. But I remember as a kid liking the battle at Helm's Deep so much that Two Towers was always my favorite.
It taught me how to play Baldur's Gate better.
Yeah.
So I didn't know you could throw a dwarf. So there's a scene where Aragorn throws Gimli and Gimli's like just fucking up everyone. And so I was like, oh shit, I could do that. And so in Baldur's Gate, I realized I can get a dwarf hireling and I would just like throw him in the middle of battle. And like their HP is high,
Such a
their
good
power
scene.
is strong. Yeah.
Toss me. And Aragorn's just, what?
And he's such a good leader. Like he's so loving about it. Like he's like, listen, don't tell the hoes. Like you're gonna throw
Secret
me. And
safe
he's
with
like,
me,
he's like,
Legolas is always my favorite.
I love him too. He doesn't get touched all 3 films.
Yeah, no, he's the GOAT, dude.
Like if you watch
That's
it,
tough.
when he's sliding down the stairs on the shield, shooting
Shooting
people,
it.
dude, I was
not
locked.
one speck of dirt goes on him.
He's the GOAT.
Nothing. He's incredible.
So,
No.
off of that, you can answer this. There should be more Lord of the Rings trilogy or more Lord of the Rings content like Rings of Power and the War for Rohirrim that is coming out. 3, 2, 1. Agree.
Sure, if people like it, give us more. You know, we're nerds. We just want we want.
I know you haven't seen Rings of Power, but
Yeah.
if you were to like suggest something that Lord of the Rings should do, they have an animated movie coming out, and then they have the live action TV show. What else should they do?
How are they in video games?
Pretty good. What was the one that I played back in the day? They had one that was really, really good that I played for a while. It was like Batman Arkham,
Sick.
those kind of things, but like Lord of the Rings,
Sick.
where you just always had stuff to do and everything.
They're not releasing any movies anytime soon. They kind of blew their load making 18 Hobbit movies.
Yeah. I
And
think
stretching it out way longer than it needed to be.
I think Tolkien has like one more book that's in the Lord of the Rings world.
the Silmarillion, that Silmarillion, I can never say it right.
it's Silmarillion.
But that's like it's a textbook to explain everything that's happened. So I don't know. I think that's what Rings of Powers is supposed to be. It's like based off of that. But I think animation is the way to go. I think a lot more things should be animated. Like Percy Jackson it's never gonna work with like that man's an adult now, and it's been one season.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, and you just can't, with labor laws and the way that studios are now approving seasons. I think a lot more things should be animated to really keep up to it. Yeah,
interesting. Something I wanted to ask you about is you just brought up that Harry Potter borrows a lot from Lord of the Rings, and I watching Fellowship for the first time just over a year ago. I was sitting there going, oh, this is Harry Potter, this is Harry Potter, this is Harry Potter. But even though I understand that Lord of the Rings and Tolkien came first, it is hard for my brain to separate it because Harry Potter's been such a mainstay of my life. My whole life, I've read all the books, seen the movies countless times, that it's like, I just think, oh, well, Harry Potter did this. And I saw that, 10 years ago or whatever. Yeah. So it is difficult for me to be like, no, this came first in a way that, I don't know, because I usually critique movies pretty harshly based on that. Right. I'm not a big fan of The Joker from 2019. And a big part of that is because it's just Taxi Driver.
Yeah.
And I saw Taxi Driver first. Maybe I wouldn't feel that way if I had seen Joker and then Taxi Driver, like my good friend Alex Coleman. We were talking about that the other day.
Yeah. I was just disappointed when I started. I was like, I based almost my whole life with Harry Potter, like I grew up with the books. Mm-hmm. I would read one every year. Like it was a whole thing. And I was like, she stole his whole flow. Nothing is original. And I thought that was the one thing I used to say, like in defense of J.K. Rowling. Like, y'all can say that there were all these plot holes, but the world that she created was so robust. And I'm like, realizing that she had no imagination at all kind of like hurt me. Like even the names, like if there was a Latin, I saw someone say if there was a Latin person it would be like Ariba or Nepa.
Yeah, the names were not that imaginative.
Kingsley Shacklebolt is nuts.
Crazy.
I think the world itself is still somewhat interesting and separate.
There's
from
definitely some original stuff in the Harry Potter world.
What do you think is original?
I think it's one of the most brilliant pieces of world building ever, which is she created a love potion and people were like, what the fuck? Like that means that rape can like canonically happen in this universe. And her response to that was, if you are conceived under a love potion, then that baby cannot feel love, and essentially that is Voldemort, but essentially implies that they will be a Voldemort. Like that is the repercussions, and that's not anywhere else in anything. And I think that's brilliant. I think it's one of the most brilliant pieces of writing I've ever read, and that's a big reason why Half-Blood Prince is my favorite book.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair. I did love their repercussions. I do feel like people should explore love potions and what that means, or like, just what does it mean when you're in the world of magic and you can manipulate feelings and thoughts, and what does that do for
memories.
You and memories. But then there goes the plot holes, right? Like people being Sirius Black, I was like, why wouldn't they just use a thing to pull his memory out?
Absolutely.
To clear him.
Literally everything in the whole series is fixed by a time turner, and they give it to a 13-year-old
girl
to take more classes. To take more classes. Exactly.
Classes are hard,
and they never use it again. It is. There's plenty of those. Which is why I don't think any of the books are 10 out of 10s, and I don't think any of the movies are 10 out of 10s. But like, there are definitely issues. But overall, a tremendous piece of entertainment for me.
I agree, and I still like. I could still have very robust conversations about Harry Potter, and even like talking about its shortcomings can like get a great conversation off it, right? Like my big thing is Dudley not being a witch hunter is nuts. Like they're not being witch hunters, and like what's their reasoning from hiding from muggles if they have so much power over them, or not interact, like not getting a phone is crazy. Like, why are you still using owls? How is that better? You know what I mean? Things like that, or exploring other worlds. Why do they still use wands? Why did Voldemort need a wand? He went to China and saw that they didn't have wands and was like, nah, I need mine. You know what I mean? I don't know. Even Eagle-wise, I'd be like, all these other countries don't need wands. I'm big head honcho. I'm gonna have one. I'm not gonna have one, you know? So, but yeah, I still read it, I played Hogwarts Legacy.
I heard that was a lot of fun.
Very popular.
It wasn't the best game ever, but it was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
All right. James Gunn's Batman Brave and the Bold will be great.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Agree.
I'm holding up both.
Really?
I've been very public about this. I have so much faith in James Gunn's DCU. I think his Superman movie will probably be one of my favorite movies of all time. I trust him completely. That DC fandom thing he did a year ago, I mean, one of the greatest YouTube videos I've ever seen in my life. Just the way he talks about the characters and everything has me just so excited. But I was thoroughly unimpressed. I wasn't, I don't hate it, but I was unimpressed by The Flash. And
The Flash, yeah.
The Flash movie.
Yeah.
And Andy Muschietti, I really like his It 2 movies. I know a lot of people are critical of the second one. I'm also kind of critical of the second one, but I kind of love the second one. But I don't know. In The Flash, I just felt that Andy Muschietti as a director, he lacked a certain sauce that I want. And every other Batman director for me is somebody that has something that got them that job, that it's like, yes, like absolutely, right? Memento got Nolan the Batman job, right? And I love his Batman movies. And you know, Zack Snyder, obviously I don't love a lot of his movies, but like I get why you saw 300, why you saw Watchmen and thought this guy could do Batman, this guy could do DC, whatever. And then Tim Burton doing Batman in 89, and every single director, and now Matt Reeves, his Apes trilogy is my favorite trilogy of all time until Spider-Verse is finished, and I'm sure that will overtake it. But it's just, I feel like every other director has a movie or movies where I'm like, yes. And James Gunn has said publicly that The Flash is what got Andy Muschietti that. And so even though I like a lot of the stuff that the DCU is doing, that, I don't know, I'm just kind of
I will say
nervous.
The Batman portion of The Flash was my favorite part.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I thought it depicted, even down to him admitting, like Michael Keaton admitting, you know, once I wanted to fix Gotham, I did. And Gotham was fixed, right? And they're chilling. He was like, yeah, now it's gentrified. It's doing well. Like, I fixed Gotham. And what that did to him, like, now he's just chilling, making spaghetti, like, looking for something else to do. And that's why he was so quick to jump into the life with The Flash. I agree. I think The Flash had a lot of shortcomings, but I think it had a lot of great moments as well.
What do you think about Batman Brave and the Bold?
Yeah, I just James Gunn in general, you know, I think he still has a hand on it, and I don't know about the director or whatever, but it's an interesting concept. I'm not ready to say that it'll be bad until I see something about it. It definitely could be, and it is weird that they're doing the Brave and the Bold as their first.
They're doing Damian Wayne off rip is interesting.
Because we know.
This
I know.
is fair.
But
so this is the opposite spectrum. That's the Homecoming argument. I love Homecoming, but for him, it's his least favorite Spider-Man movie.
Really?
So it's the idea of, we've done this so much, so we're going to do something completely different. And that kind of alienated you, so that could certainly alienate
I didn't like what
other
they did.
people.
But, I mean, you can still do something new without making the characters lame, in my opinion. And Damian Wayne is an interesting character, and I think they can do a lot with it, but it is weird to start with. And also, like, yeah, we can do something new, like we know Robin, but when's the last time we got a live action Robin, actually? The 80s. Like,
The 80s, yeah.
Like, we got one in, like, The Dark Knight Rises, but not really.
Not
No,
really.
Titans. Frankie, please.
and like, we didn't get one in the Batman, you know? So it's like, you could easily do Tim Drake or Grayson or whatever.
Damian's hot right now, though.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Everybody loves him.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So we'll see. That's my concern.
Thank you, Andrew.
The best Batman actor is Christian Bale. 3, 2, 1.
Disagree.
Yeah.
All right, let's get our
Who's
favorites.
yours?
As Batman, like the actual Batman, like,
You can do everything.
yo, Ben Affleck was a fire Batman. I loved him as Batman.
Yes.
Like, did I like
Yes.
Batman v
Yes.
Superman? No.
Yes.
But like the way he was fighting, the
Yes.
fighting
Yeah,
style.
I didn't dislike Batfleck.
When he is freeing the people that are being human trafficked,
Yeah.
and the cops go in there with their shotguns,
And
you
he's
see
on
him
the ceiling.
moving around and
Yeah.
everything, and then you see the footage, the camera footage of the Lex Luthor break-in when he steals the kryptonite. He doesn't look real. Like, it's
Yeah.
just the silhouette and the
Yeah, but
eyes.
that's not like
that's Batman.
Yeah, but that's not Affleck doing any like acting. Like, is he doing the stunt doubles for that? Like,
No,
Whoever
probably
it
not.
is,
But that
figure
is
it
his
out.
Batman. And look, I love his warehouse fight.
yeah, no, that was
And you know, You know, I love him at the Lex Luthor party.
Me too.
I love
say
him.
that. He was charming.
Like, I love him.
Yeah.
He's charming, and you know, he's arguing with Clark. He's clearly not rocking with Clark. He's like, "What up, Lex?" Like he knows Lex, and then he's doing his detective work, and he's like, and then the lady catches him, and he's like, "Sorry, I had a lot to drink. What's the bathroom?" Like that's so Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I am not on the hate Ben Affleck train. There were so many people on that, especially when he first got cast. I remember just sitting back and being like, "What's the problem?" like, like it's not that big a deal.
And I love his scene in Metropolis where he goes and he runs and just full suit and is just trying to save people.
And it made sense why he would have a vendetta against Superman, because it made sense. He was like, "Yeah, did y'all not forget he ruined Metropolis?
Yes.
And I just saved these people." And yeah, I agree.
The confirmed kill count for the Metropolis Man of Steel scene is 10,000.
That's crazy.
That is 3x 9/11. Like that is a real event that would traumatize everybody. Like it's a part of the. I'm much higher on Batman v Superman than my co-host, but I'm much higher on it in general than Man of Steel, which is my least favorite movie of all time.
That's fair.
I like Pattinson, so
I just felt like
we need more of him.
we need more of him. He's not Batman yet, right? He didn't figure out the carpet tool. Like there was a lot. He's not a fleshed out Batman. I did like a lot of aspects of him. I love that he put on a blue collar outfit to blend into things. I didn't like the way he talked to Alfred.
Yeah, I didn't like the Alfred stuff for sure.
Yeah.
That actually might make me change my answer. I agree with you there.
I don't like Pattinson as much. I'm very harsh on that movie and that portrayal of the character because I just think he's an idiot. Like you
Pattinson?
said, like you said, the carpet tool. Like I just feel like, other than thumb drive, he really doesn't figure anything out in the movie until it's too late.
And the thumb drive, that was Penguin. He said, "El Rado, that's the worst Spanish I ever heard."
Exactly right. Like he gets that solved for him, and you know, look, Bale. I love those movies, even though I say all the time like they're not Batman at all from the comics. Like that's not my Batman, but I just like them as their own separate thing. A lot similar to how you like the Joker as its own separate thing. And the thing with Bale's Batman, like at least he does figure things out on time. Like it feels like that's something that matters to me quite a bit. And Pattinson is just behind the eight ball that whole movie. I get it's year one or year two or whatever, but it's just, come on.
I feel completely the opposite of that, but I need to watch them again.
I also, small thing, I think I've said this before on the podcast, I like the Pattinson suit. I wish it was big.
What do you
wish
mean?
It covered his whole body. You know what I'm saying?
Like the cape part?
The cape. Like it's kind of short, it's little, it's stubby, but like I want, like Pattinson's Batman, he's the depressed guy, right? Like that's his whole shtick. That's how he's taking the character. So wouldn't it make more sense if he's like, "Ooh, I'm secluded." Like he's that, you know. There's so many comic panels of just Batman, and it's just the cloak and the head and the shadow, and like when he walks out of the shadows, and like if the cloak was just bigger, that I want. I want that bad.
I do think that's
with the long, skinny ears coming out of that, and it's just a big cloak because he's a depressed emo guy, you know.
Yeah, he's supposed to be a
He's
bad.
Kurt Cobain, like that's.
I did love Bale's velvet cape. That was ill. Like it was like full crushed velvet. I was like, listen, you Bruce Wayne, you rich. Why not?
Yeah, why
He
not?
said, line this Kevlar with velvet, please.
Transformers 1 is the best animated movie of the year.
Real? I haven't seen it.
Oh, then we'll skip this one.
Okay, yeah. I've heard it's good though.
I haven't seen Wild Robot.
Wild Robot is my favorite movie of the year.
You would pick Wild Robot over Transformers 1.
Yours would be Transformers 1.
I'm sure I'm going to like Wild Robot a ton. I'm seeing it later on this week. But I don't expect to like it as much as Transformers 1.
I don't think you will.
I gotta see it. People love it.
It's really
so
good.
Really?
Are you a Transformers fan in the slightest?
I mean, yeah, and it's like I love the original Michael Bay films, and I watched the cartoon 20
You're
years
gonna
ago.
love it. It's
Really?
it's the best Transformers movie by a country mile. It's better than all the Bay movies.
Really?
Andrew and I both believe that. It's
Teenage Mayhem level good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mutant Mayhem was my second favorite movie of last year.
Okay.
Only behind Across the Spider-Verse. I loved Mutant Mayhem. I would be hard-pressed to find somebody on the internet that likes Mutant Mayhem as much as me. And I think Transformers 1 is on the same level. I think they're very,
Really? Okay.
The thing that Mutant Mayhem has it beat in two things. comedy. I think it's significantly funnier, and animation. But Andrew would tell you that Transformers 1 is significantly funnier. So comedy is kind of subjective there. But
they're close.
The animation, though, I love the animation in Mutant Mayhem. And that's my one gripe with Transformers 1 is I don't like the designs. But otherwise, what
is Wild Robot your favorite animated movie of the year?
Yeah, what else came out this year?
Inside Out 2 would be the only thing that could go against it.
That's close. Yeah, that's close.
Despicable Me 4 and Kung Fu Panda 4 are the other options.
Yeah, so I guess Wild Robot would be. I'd have to see. Yeah, I was like, man, what came out this year? Yeah, it had to be that. Yeah. Or, well, no, that's not a movie. It was like Batman Brave and the Bold. I think it's some of the best. It's an animated property I saw this year.
Yeah. Beetlejuice is better than the original. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
I will have to abstain. I haven't seen Beetlejuice.
Yeah, but I don't think
yet.
either. I think I rewatched Beetlejuice recently, so I could watch
did I.
Beetlejuice.
Yeah,
and I was like, why is this a cult classic? Why do people love it this much?
I understand why it's a cult classic. I don't think it's that great.
Yeah,
but I
agreed.
can watch it and be like, okay, I understand why this is a cult classic. It's not like the best movie in the world, but it's weird and Beetlejuice is weird and like I can understand why people like it in that category. I just had way more fun with Beetlejuice.
You had more fun with Beetlejuice?
Yes, I loved it.
There was times I was like, why are we here? Like Monica, Tim Burton shoving his girlfriend in our faces.
There are multiple storylines that don't really go anywhere and don't get enough time, and there's some plot issues or whatever, but I just thought it was funny. And I just thought it was, especially the second half, just ridiculous fun, which is what it should be. For the second one, to me, was like ridiculous and weird in the pursuit of being funny and kind of entertaining, and the first one was just ridiculous and weird to be ridiculous and weird. And I like Beetlejuice more for that reason. Okay. I was laughing.
Boss man, I gave you the wrong disagree.
I was about to say,
what's the difference?
These are all things that he dislikes.
No. These are all things that, so for these cards, it's things that both Andrew and I agree on. So we love Lilo and Stitch, air conditioning, The Empire Strikes Back. Like these are all things that we both love, and then these are all things that we both dislike.
Is that pineapple on pizza?
Yeah,
pineapple
I agree.
On pizza.
Okay,
good. And then this one's specific to me.
Yeah.
All things I dislike, all things I like.
Okay.
Yeah, and same with mine.
Alrighty. Days of Future Past has the best speedster representation and scene. 3, 2, 1.
Disagree.
Yeah.
Pass on Flying Colors. You brought it up earlier. I think Makari in Eternals is spectacular.
It's so good.
The only argument I will give you against that, because everybody's like, oh, that's what they need to do in the DC universe with Flash. Flash is so much faster than Makari was going.
I mean, yeah.
So it's harder to visualize, but that scene is spectacular.
I agree. I like the way Snyder, not the one that was in the Flash film, but the one that Snyder did in the Snyder cut.
Yes.
That was good.
When he's
Flash.
saving all the people.
Yeah.
And you see Flash, at one point there's like a split second of the frame where you see him watch himself.
Yeah.
That's so Flash.
Yeah. Yeah.
So good.
Like, say what we want about Snyder, that man can set up a shot. Like, he's really good at a shot. And yeah, Days of Future Past, I always say that it's not technically a speedster scene. Yeah. He's just walking slowly. Like, it's giving us the illusion, like, yes, this is what it's like for him as a speedster. Yeah. But it's not it's the lazy approach. I want to see him moving around. I
like both. I like when they switch between both, where you can, and they do that in the Flash show a bunch, where they give you the slow mo of him doing stuff, but then you also get him running through the city really, really fast. And like y'all said, the Makari scene is, watching her F that guy up was a lot of fun. And I think you also mentioned this in one of your videos one time, that like no one really talks about like how powerful speedsters are. Yeah. And like no one could really beat them if they were really trying. If they can go as fast as like they canonically can normally go, like who's gonna beat them?
The Flash is not even really a speedster, right? He's jumping in and out of the Speed Force, right? Yeah. And I think that's why I like Snyder. But I agree. There's an episode of Justice League Unlimited where the Flash's mind gets switched with Lex Luthor, and they're able to convey how scary it is to have a speedster that's on demon time. And Lex Luthor is quite literally walking around like this to people, and he's like, I'll scramble your brains right now. Like, I'll do all this stuff. And it's like, this is terrifying. And they never show like speedsters in
I think
that
they're
way.
Extremely powerful. If like at some point in the comics, like Barry Allen can go the speed of light. Like,
He can go a lot faster in many.
It's like,
continuity.
do you understand how like fast that is?
If he
Like,
punches you at the speed of light,
yeah, it's like I understand Superman, but like I don't think Superman's supposed to be that fast.
he's supposed
He's
to
not.
be like, yeah, he's about to finish.
There's the very famous comic panel where he's like, "I've beaten you in some races," and he's like, "Those were for Charity Clark," and then he just fucking
Yeah.
does
Yeah.
Andrew is very critical of the Quicksilver speedster scenes in the X-Men movies.
Really? Why is that?
Mainly because, and a lot of people call me stupid for this because it's a superhero movie and suspend your disbelief or whatever, but it does not make sense to me. And like, there are things in superhero movies where you're like, they wouldn't survive that. It's plot armor or whatever. But like, none of the people he is saving would survive moving that fast, and it bothers me.
Yeah.
Now, if we were giving the only argument for it is like if you have the Speed Force, and like the Speed Force like protects the people that are around you when they're moving that fast, but like Quicksilver isn't supposed
Does
to
not
have
have
something
that.
like
Yeah.
that. And he drops like a business card, or like the explosion is happening, and by the time the explosion starts to finishes, which is maybe
2
a second,
seconds,
yeah, like he saves 50 people and throws them out window and moves them from this spot 100 yards away, they would explode.
Yeah.
It bothers me. Like, and I know there's some stuff in other movies where again you're just suspend your disbelief, but like that is just too much for me.
They don't even throw up a little bit.
Yeah,
you know what
it's
I mean?
like-
yeah, like
like
I
they-
like that in the Flash that they would.
Yeah,
get
where he
snake.
moves them like 5 feet and he throws up.
Yeah.
That makes a little more sense to me.
Yeah, you really. We both were relatively critical of the Flash, but you really enjoyed the speed representation of the Flash because he's putting the babies in the microwave
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like he can move the microwave, but he can't move them. Like they explained it, and like you said, that he moves them a foot and he throws up. Like
Yeah.
they at least gave you.
Yeah, but
that.
in Days of Future Past, he saves like 60 people and moves them.
Oh, that's Apocalypse.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he moves them like a football field length away
Yeah.
while an explosion is happening.
There are some people where he just throws them
them out the window.
and throws like beds for them to land on, and it's
Yeah.
like it wouldn't the bed in a million pieces.
If I move from here to that doorway in a
Your skin
millisecond,
is off.
my
Yeah.
body will explode.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So he can't get over
I
that.
can't
I
get
feel
over
that.
it.
I feel that. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Let's see. Deadpool and Wolverine is the best MCU movie since No Way Home.
What's between?
Hold on. Because you're specifically saying movie.
Yes.
What'd you think of X-Men 97?
Nah, shut the frick up.
Sorry.
But what's between? What other movies have?
Multiverse of Madness, Quantumania, Eternals was...
Oh, Guardians of the Galaxy. 3
Guardians of the
was
Galaxy
between
3.
that.
Guardians
Okay.
3, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, so I already know my answer then.
3, 2, 1.
Disagree.
Wow.
Yeah. Guardians
yes.
3 is better than Deadpool.
I was ready to say
Wolverine.
agree, but then you reminded me of Guardians 3. I think that's the only thing that's going to beat it.
Yeah, I think
The
so.
Marvels beats it for me.
No.
The Marvel.
I like
I
the
love-
Marvels better than Deadpool.
We all love the
Wolverine.
Marvels here. Clink,
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah,
Nice.
love it.
A little overhated at that.
It's
that
so
movie.
I agree.
overhated.
But you know, people were hating on it and didn't see it. So when it came on Disney Plus, they're like, "Yo, this is actually pretty good."
It is. I don't
Yeah.
understand. I really don't. I've said this a couple times. I don't understand the hate for the Marvels. Like,
Yeah.
the
There
first
was
time we
women
watched it, I
all in it.
Yeah.
They had 2 colored leads. It's a hard watch.
I watched it. The second time I watched it, I liked it a lot less because the comedy just didn't hit as much for me. But like, I thought it was so charming.
every
And-
time Iman Vellani opens
Exactly.
her mouth,
She's so good.
oh,
she's
Captain, my
incredible.
Captain,
Oh
killed
my!
me.
So
we
good.
have our heading.
We have our heading. So funny.
I know this is a hot take. And it's not a hot take. People were saying it. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed Deadpool and Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a good movie? Like, in terms of like continuity, like storytelling, things like that. I don't think so.
Yeah.
You know?
This was my thing, and it is starting to get that turn. I don't think as harshly as No Way Home, so maybe my prediction was a little bit off there, but I felt very strongly that for a month, 2 month, 3 month span, we were going to be, everybody in the Marvel community was going to be like, Deadpool Wolverine's the greatest movie we've ever seen, and then in 3 months, they are going to just absolutely murder it, because that's what happened in No Way Home. I think No Way Home's a freaking masterpiece. It's my 3rd favorite MCU movie ever, but I think Deadpool Wolverine is a significantly worse film, and if that's how everybody treated No Way Home, then
Yeah.
like, they should be treating Deadpool, and Deadpool Wolverine is getting the hate that I think it kind of deserves right now.
Yeah.
It's just, like you said, it's a mess. It's got too much going on. I think the happy scene at the start really kills the momentum. I think that the party scene is really awkward and
Yeah.
like does a bad job of conveying his motivation. Andrew and I have talked about this on the podcast where all of these problems with the movie go away if he just is trying to save Vanessa.
Yeah.
Because we have bought that for 2 movies, that he loves her and they're the best and we like them. But
And you're gonna break them up off camera.
yes, you break them up off camera.
After all that, he changed time and
Yes.
space, and I was like, I agree.
And when she's like, I'm with a German guy, he doesn't get me shot at, that's never something
that's
that you
not
would
Vanessa.
say. Like,
it was weird.
yeah, that was like if you sell me 100%, you don't even need to have a scene with them, but you sell me with the movie if he's just trying to save her. But then you have it that he's trying to save all of them, but the scene you show me is the most awkward scene in the movie, where it looks like none of them are having a good time.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't buy his motivation, and I've said this a couple times, and you said this, I think, the best. I don't think what Wolverine did in that movie is that big of a deal. That he's the worst Wolverine
of all time.
that he just was lazy and got people killed. Like this, it
was
seems like
so weird.
There's so many that could be so much worse. I get his trauma.
No, but there's also the scene they mention it in one sentence where he's like, after that he went on a rampage and like killed people.
Oh, who cares?
Yeah,
there
I
are
was
so
like,
many
so
Wolverines
many
that kill so many. You're telling me Old Man Logan isn't the worst Wolverine? If that's what you're saying is the
Because
the
what
worst?
do we quantify as the worst Wolverine? They just said it like, this is the worst Wolverine. I was like, why?
Yeah.
Like what? And
yeah,
I
and it
thought
took
we were
him
gonna
so long
learn.
to explain why.
Yeah.
There-
And the
it's
explanation
messy.
is
It's
dumb.
messy.
And to introduce Cassandra, you know what I mean? And like, I don't know. I felt like the way they got rid of her was on some, okay, now it's time to get rid of her.
Yes,
you know?
exactly. Quite convenient.
Yeah.
I'm with everything. Yeah, so it's just, but it's super fun.
It's so fun.
It's
I
so
think-
fun.
so fun.
Like, I have all those problems with it, but I said in my original review, like, the things it needed to do, I feel like it did. Like,
did. Hot take,
it
though.
needed to have good cameos, it needed to have good comedy, it needed to have good action, like, it needed to be fun, and it did all of those things. And so I'm happy with it.
I started to have beef with it because I love that they brought in Blade, but I hated that they ruined the you motherfuckers trying to ice skate up here, which is like my favorite line, but it felt so cheesy, like a PBS special when he said it, and I was like, how dare you? You know what I mean? Because it was just, why would he say, y'all still trying? I don't know. It just felt like it was like, like I wanted him to look at the camera after he said it, and I hate it. But I love what they did with Jennifer Gardner.
Yeah, it's my 19th favorite MCU project, shows and movies included. It's just not, it's not the best thing in the world, but it's fun. It is fun. In terms of things that I have ahead of it, I have the Marvel's Guardians 3. I have a lot of the shows. I have Loki season 1. I have WandaVision. I have She-Hulk. I have Hawkeye. All above it.
no.
Those are all since No Way Home.
Sure.
Other than WandaVision and Loki, I guess.
I liked Falcon and the Winter Soldier. The last episode was terrible, but the first episode I thought was so good.
I will say what I say about almost every Marvel show, where the first couple episodes I was interested, and then by the middle of the show I stopped caring.
Yeah.
And I can say that about virtually every single Marvel show.
There's the 6-episode Marvel show syndrome that they all are both too long and too short.
Yeah.
Like you're taking too long to get to when it's good, but you're also setting up too many things that it's going to, like, you can't resolve it all in 6 episodes. So, like, I loved Falcon and Winter Soldier through 3 episodes. When they introduced Wakanda, I'm like, oh my gosh, Wakanda doesn't like that Zemo's out and this and that. I'm like, this is going to be incredible. And then you just kind of have to wrap it up in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
In the last episode, like you said. And then making Agent 13 the power broker was dumb and this and that. I was disappointed with the ending, but my biggest issue with Falcon Winter Soldier is the Flag Smashers. I think they suck as an antagonist.
I think that it would have been great, but Marvel does this thing because it's like, military propaganda where any revolutionary who makes sense, they have to villainize them to a point of no return.
Yeah.
They did it with Killmonger and they did it with the Flag Smashers. I love the idea of people saying, we liked it when during the snap. My life was better during the snap.
Yeah.
But then they had them blow up a
hospital.
What?
Exactly. But so that's a critique of the show. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's a reason I look at that show and go, that sucks.
Yeah.
Because you have these villains that are kind of right in multiple different ways, and then you have to have them be the villain, so they have to blow up a hospital, and it feels so, like, I think her character's name is Carly.
Yeah.
Carly would never do that. Like, it doesn't add up with her character. I hated it.
Yeah.
I really didn't like that. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff in that show that I don't.
All right, we got 5 more. Let's like rapid fire.
Let's bang them out.
Okay. The Boys has fallen off.
Ooh.
3, 2, 1. Really?
I still
She
think it's
agrees.
good, but I just rewatched the series And I was like, I forgot how good season 3 was.
Yeah.
I forgot. Like 2 and 3 are so good.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I would feel like if it's fallen off, if season 1 was great, season 2 was good, and then season 3 and 4 were both bad, because then it would be like, okay, we're 2 seasons in and it's bad. I think season 4 isn't as good as season 3.
Agreed.
But it's not bad enough for me to be like, oh, the show's completely fallen off. Like, I think through season 1 through season 4, they have always given us something that has kept us around. You know what I mean?
I'm afraid you're getting too gimmicky, and I'm afraid that's there to stay.
What was gimmicky?
The spider, every time he was like bursting repeatedly. Remember he was talking to the one where the spider webs come out of his butt?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Scenes like that I'm like, they've always been gross, and they've always been like that shock value, but it was used sparingly and in a way that emphasized the point, right? And there were so many scenes that I was like, y'all are doing this to be gross, to,
sure,
you know, it's becoming too much. It wasn't just that scene. I think some of the like dungeon scenes, I thought
poor Huey, that whole season.
Yeah, Mother's Milk got slapped in the face with a dick, and I was like, why are we doing this? Like, what is going on?
Yeah, they kind of know their shtick, and sometimes they I think they feel the need to force that shtick in there a little bit too much.
Yeah.
But I mean, with Gen V and the 4 seasons, I think overall, like, I don't look at The Boys and be like, oh, it's fallen off. Like, I just don't. Maybe if season 5 also flops, like, well, I don't think season 4 flopped. I think it was good. It was not as good as season 3.
Yeah.
But if season 5 is bad, then maybe I'll give it that. But like, I think most everyone's still excited for season 5. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm gonna watch it for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. The X-Men 97 is the best MCU project since No Way Home.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Agree.
Reread the sentence.
X-Men 97 is the best MCU project.
Period.
Oh, you said period.
Period. It's the best thing the MCU's ever done. Marvel Studios, Kevin Feige, it's the best thing they've ever put out.
I think it's top 10.
Winter Soldier is up there.
It's better than
Winter Soldier.
Click me.
Man,
Yeah.
I don't know. Winter Soldiers is my favorite.
I just rewatched
product.
Winter Soldier within the last month, and like, I was blown away. Like, I've seen that movie 5 times, and I was still blown away by how good it is.
So good.
Winter Soldier is great. I don't think anything in the MCU comes close to episode 5, which is the Genosha episode of X-Men 97. And that alone, on top of how great episodes 1, 2, 3 are, how great some of the stuff at the end is. Cyclops having the conversation with Cable, who he's met dozens of times in the show, finding out now that that's his son, having that conversation, saying goodbye to him, and then ripping off his glasses. You see the tears coming out of his eyes as the concussive blasts are coming out of his eyes. It's magical.
It's beautiful.
It was magical. And I'm a big, like you said, more things need to be animated. I'm a huge animation guy, and my favorite animated anything ever is probably Across the Spider-Verse and Into the Spider-Verse. Up there is Batman the Animated Series, maybe my favorite TV show of all time. But X-Men 97 was animated so beautifully.
Oh my God. It was cinematic. There's scenes where like you see things in his visor.
Yes.
There's so I think when I was in the reviews, every episode I would do a scene that I thought was Wolverine getting pulled through the Banff and seeing him warp
so
through.
cool.
And that may be my favorite fight I've ever seen.
That
Oh
one
my God,
shot
it
where
was
they're
so good.
It's just...
It's so good. What do you feel about that legacy may be gone? They're rewriting the whole second season.
We're worried.
They're taking out. I'm worried too.
We talked about it on our last episode that came out. Like, I'm like devastated. I don't know what the fuck Bo DiMaggio did. I need to know one of these days that they're getting rid of all of his stuff because he's clearly a genius. Like, oh my gosh, when I heard that they scrapped the Age of Apocalypse story, like, what are you doing?
I was like, how are you going to weave in a new story when it's clear
you can't do anything else? Like,
it's because he wrote those 2 seasons together, and it's like, imagine if in like Avatar: The Last Airbender they took out, I don't know,
Fire Lord Ozai.
Fire Lord Ozai is gone, and that's not the big bad anymore. You're like, that was the whole thing we were fighting against. You know what I mean? I'm worried, but I think, to your point, I think you could watch just the first season by itself.
Correct.
And enjoy it.
I rank them as seasons. I'm much lower on Loki season 2 than I am everybody else. But like, so season 1 is one of my top 10 MCU projects ever. Season 2 is way lower than that. So I'll
I'm
rank
with
them as
you.
seasons. Season 1 of X-Men 97, I think it has one episode that I don't love, which is episode 4, which is the
video game one.
Motendo,
Yeah,
with Mojo,
yeah.
all that. I didn't love that. And then the beginning of the Storm stuff, I thought the second episode with the Storm was a lot better. And then I didn't love how they brought Professor X back in. I thought you could have done that quieter, slower,
And to bring him
easier than bringing him in right after Genosha.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh,
I wish they
everything
didn't
else.
split like I think they were like, we can't do just a full Storm story maybe, but I think if they had put all the Storms
Yeah, it would've
arc
been
in
better.
one episode,
Yeah.
and all of Professor X, because I love when they're on, I forgot the name of the Shahar
Yeah.
planet.
Yeah, the
that,
Shi'ar,
that's
yeah.
so funny. The
Yeah.
episode is funny, the way they're interacting, and just like how invasive. I think people don't explore how invasive Charles is, and they all are that way, right? And I really love that they do it. Like G comes in and reads your mind immediately, and I love that Cable is always like, this is rude. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know you, I think that's rude. You're right, I do love it. I think Winter Soldier may be better.
Fair. Look, I'm never going to yell
Yeah.
at somebody for preferring Winter Soldier over X-Men 97, but I love X-Men 97.
I think it's good.
top 5 or 10 for me.
So
All right,
much.
last two. My Hero Academia is a great anime. 3, 2, 1. Agree. Hasn't
Can't
seen
speak
it.
on it. I haven't seen it.
Oh man, you missing
Yeah.
out. It's X-Men basically,
I've heard.
but with limitations. Yeah.
You want to give us a top 5 like anime real quick? Of
Top
yours?
5 animes
Yeah,
of
yeah.
mine. Top number 1. If you've never seen anime, you have to watch this one. It's Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
I
It's
know
perfect.
it's on my list. I've watched the first episode. I need to watch.
Perfect.
It's
Start to finish.
Great.
It shows how to use like people who are war criminals who are now heroes. I want you to watch it. So yes, it's perfect.
Great. Yep.
I think Jujutsu Kaisen's on there. I really like Jujutsu Kaisen.
Have you read it?
Have I read it? No.
I've heard nothing but terrible things about the ending.
Really?
Yeah, I've heard
a
that
lot
like,
of them
it's the
can't
biggest.
stick with-
It's the biggest like fumble
Really?
of all anime ever.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
which sucks.
What else am I watching? I watch a lot of anime, but a lot of it isn't finished. Naruto, I think Naruto's
Sure.
up there.
Sure.
I don't watch One Piece, but I hear that's incredible.
Demon Slayer.
I like Demon Slayer. Like it gets a bad rap.
I love Demon Slayer.
but I love it. Yeah, and I love that
Hunter.
it's about to end. Hunter x Hunter, but Hunter x Hunter is not finished.
Yeah, well, neither is Demon Slayer. It's almost done.
But it's almost done. Like
Well,
they're
neither is
going to
JJK.
finish.
Yeah. Attack
know?
on Titan.
I didn't like the ending, but it was good.
Yeah, that's fair. I liked it, but okay.
Have you seen Death Note?
Yeah.
What do you
Death Note
think?
I love Death Note. You know what? But I feel like the second half after L is defeated, it's not good.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is what I always say. For 27 episodes, I couldn't believe it. And then the rest,
And then it was,
completely
I was like,
lost
why did
it.
they get rid of L? Like, I think the ending was perfect. He had to die. Like, but,
Sure,
but
but
who what's his name? K? I don't even watch it. Like, whenever you watch it, I
stop.
stop at L.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's it.
No,
like, yeah.
Nier and Mello. Nier and Mello are the other two, and they're awful. They're awful
Yeah.
next to L. Like it's just L is a top 10, maybe top 5 favorite character of mine in fiction.
Yeah.
Based on his impact through 27 episodes.
Code Geass
Yeah.
is an excellent anime, and it has that kind of like villainy.
Yeah, I am currently on season 2 of My Hero Academia.
Okay.
So I'm a little bit behind, and I'm also seeing the new movie tonight, out of order.
It's gonna ruin
Yeah.
so much because it turns. It's kind of like Hunter x Hunter. You know how Hunter x
I
Hunter
haven't
starts
watched Hunter
out
x Hunter.
like
I've only seen the first episode of Hunter x Hunter as well.
so it's one of those things where like the anime starts, it's light, it's airy, it's fun, and then some way you're like, how did this turn into this?
I've seen one spoiler where like My Hero turn into like this.
It's a post-apocalyptic. Yeah,
like, yeah, it's crazy.
It's pretty crazy. It's pretty ill.
So yeah, my Attack on Titan's my favorite, and then Demon Slayer.
Did you like the ending for Attack on Titan?
Attack on Titan, I always say that the ending is as good as it could have been. Like the storyline that they had set up and the things that were happening, like there was no better way for it to end. Like it was going to be sad and hard and confusing, like regardless of what you do. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But given what they were working with and the universe that was happening, I liked it. Yeah,
I think, and spoiler, I guess for you guys, think that Eren always had to die, but I didn't like that he was like, like he tried to make it seem like he was just doing it for his friends, but he also didn't believe that it was right. I love the idea of him being full on in his resolve.
Well, yes and no. That's one of the reasons why it's so confusing. There's like 7 different reasons why he was doing what he was doing, and like some of it is like he was like brainwashed by Ymir, and some of
Yeah.
it was like like himself in the past telling himself to do it, and like him seeing the future, and then the other one was like kind of protecting his friends, and then the other one was just like destroying the world. So that's what makes him such a great character. It's just like all this jumbled up inside of him that's like, yeah, he's kind of redeemable, but also like totally not. Yeah, it's confusing. All right, last one. Last one. I think we'll all be excited about this one. I know you and I will. Dungeons and Dragons movie from last year is criminally underrated. 3, 2, 1.
Completely
agree.
Yes.
Completely.
Yeah.
That was
Thank you.
A top 3 movie of yours last year.
Yeah, I freaking loved it
It was
last year.
so good.
Maybe it was because we had low expectations. I went in thinking
I was
it was gonna-
shocked in that theater.
I was
shocked. I went because I got invited to the screening.
Yeah.
If
Was
not,
it
I
on
would have never
Paramount?
seen it. I think so.
Okay,
no,
you-
not here, but I was in
okay.
New York. Yeah,
Gotcha, yeah.
But I went to the screening and I was like, "Why is this so good?"
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, it was
they made
hilarious.
a Bard the main character, and it was still bussing. Like,
Yeah, no.
yeah.
I thought it was freaking so fun.
It didn't make any money. I still somehow want a sequel. I don't care. Make it happen.
I think they are making a sequel.
Are they?
They're
good.
considering it because
Yeah.
of the critical response.
Yeah.
Everyone, if you haven't, get Paramount Plus or something and watch Dungeons and
it's
Dragons.
so
So good.
good.
It's
Chris
so fun.
Pine, I think, is underrated too.
Yeah,
He's
no,
my
I-
favorite Chris.
Is
as
he
an
really?
actor.
As
yeah,
an actor.
I understand that there's some stuff with him, but you know, he didn't. Andrew ran into him in a bathroom, and we watched him not wash his hands,
This is
which
true.
is gross.
He's too fine for that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I wanted to
I'm
talk.
sorry.
He peed, right? And then I peed in the same urinal as him. And
Your
I was like,
urinal
I'm a
buddies.
fast peer. I'm the fastest peer in the West. And I was gonna pee and then go, and
I've never heard that.
then I was gonna go wash my hands because I knew I would pee fast enough to talk to him. And then as soon as I finished, I walked, and he was already gone.
No,
and
I was
you
in line.
watched
I was
him-
behind you. I watched him just pee and leave.
But what's the etiquette for
super famous people?
peeing? No, for
No,
peeing.
you gotta wash
in
your
your- You
hands.
gotta wash it.
You gotta
I mean,
wash
I
your
would
hands.
hope so, but
Yeah,
I
we
always
always
gotta
wonder
wash
that,
your
right?
hands.
Because you're like touching your beef, so it's like
Exactly.
right. Okay.
Anyways, regardless, Chris, you're great.
I love Chris Pine.
And
I
go
do.
watch
I like
Dungeons and
his
Dragons.
Star Trek. I like
love
a
his-
lot of his
I like
stuff.
him in Princess Diaries. I
Yep.
like him in everything. I think
Cheers
he's
to
great.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Cheers to Dungeons and Dragons.